Good evening. Today we've got a box of new toys from Scaletrains. I think it's also Fox River Valley, their new Norfolk and Western J number 611. So we're going to be doing an unboxing and review of the engine, which is the first one that Scaletrains has put out as far as the steam locomotive, and then also it's got a set of passenger cars that I ordered. So with that, let's get started. So first we have, this is the new box for the Scaletrains Fox Valley models, as you can see right here. This is the Spirit of Roanoke, and this is in the most recent scheme. The reason I bought this engine in our MetroMod group that we founded back in the late 70s, John Magg and Ted Marrs loved their Norfolk and Western engines, and when I saw that Fox Models was going to do this engine, then I just knew I had to get one to sort of honor them with the train running around my Texas and Pacific layout. So they were great modelers, had very detailed modules, and were some of the original group that founded the modular railroad type of displays. That we have the J, and then we have crew coach, compartment coach, a standard Pullman, a standard Niner, and the Norfolk and Western Pohan. I guarantee I'm butchering that, Pohan Aero observation car. Okay, so now then first we're going to open up the box that has the J in it. We have our Norfolk and Western Class J product manual. Then we've got some firm foam to protect the locomotive. We have a driver that does not have a rubber traction tire on it, a wrench to install and uninstall the driver, and then also it actually comes with 4 extra traction tires. So we'll put them back in there. First thing we're taking out is the clamshell that holds the tender, and it's your standard Scaletrains enclosure. Slides out of the one part of the protective enclosure. Then you lift up that, remove the plastic that surrounds the tender, and there's our first look at the tender. We've got a nice coal load on top. I'm being very heavy. I might say we'll get around to weighing that here shortly. I'll put that back in the box, and then we pull out the locomotive. Very heavy. Slide off the protective cover. Remove very heavy locomotive, nice paint job. Beautiful. So we've got the J out of the box, and we're going to start off by looking at the overall detail of it. First off, you'll notice we have our headlight has a dual beam headlight in it, as it does today. We have nice metal railings that are unpainted. We have a closed drawbar. We have marker lights, and supposedly these marker lights are color changing. I think they'll go between red, green, and white, I believe. We'll find out when we do our performance test. The paint, very smoothly applied. Number boards are supposed to light up also. Then as we go to the side view, the paint job is, in my opinion, flawless. The pinstriping is beautiful. It's got 611 there. Builder plate here. Of course, here's your exhaust stack. Looks like a feed water pump there. Whistle encased there. And the very, very, very small decal of the Spirit of Roanoke here. Something that caught my attention when I was taking it out of the case was how finely etched the running gear is. It has the scallops and stuff on it, just like the real engine does. All the running gear is very well machined and has high level of detail. You got your rivets along the boiler. It looks like that the cab roof vents open and close. And then there is some painting of the interior of the back head. We'll see how it looks here. We have some dark green cab curtains here, and then it does have some backhead detail, but none of it's painted other than at the throttle lever, I guess, up here at the top. The connector for power to the tender is right here, and it's the MTH type that you need to be careful when connecting the tender to make sure that the locomotive weight is on the drivers, not being carried by the tender. But that is a good solid form of transferring power to the places that need it. Again, we got the Spirit of Roanoke. Pinstriping is perfect as far as I can tell. Nicely detailed. The running gear. Another builder's plate. Marker light or classification light. So the engine looks very nice. Very heavy. We'll weigh it here in a minute. And with some careful manipulating, you can see that the front coupler comes out from behind its shield. So that's a nice little detail. And then, I guess the first time it was a little persnickety. And then after you open it once and close it again, what you got to do is you got to get the knuckle to go in, and then it closes nicely. Nice little detail. In most cases it'll stay shut though. Next, we're looking at the fireman's side of the tender. We've got Norfolk and Western decal, pinstriping that's straight and beautiful. The tender is very heavy. We have a water hatch, a coal load, coal auger there, I guess. 6-wheel trucks Rolls pretty good, but it is a heavy tender. It's supposed to have 2 speakers in it, if I understand correctly. So then we have some very sharp decals that are on the coal bunker. Lunch boxes. Here's our connector that connects to the engine, our deck plate. Nice coal load. We have tender steps on each side. Norfolk and Western again. Nice rivet detail. On the back of the tender, we have decals for the capacities, a Katy-like coupler, air hoses, brake hoses, and a backup light. Very nice, smooth paint job. And also, I forgot to point it out, but you have a really fine handrail, a ladder to climb up on the tender top, and a step to get up to the tender. Okay, first we're going to weigh the tender. The tender comes at 15 1/8 ounce. And the locomotive weighs 1 pound 8 ounces. Is 2 pounds 7 1/8 ounce. Okay, the drawbar pull is 4.2 ounces. Now we have 611 on the Texas Pacific layout. We're going to go through the operational features as well as pointing out a few more detail items. So as we look down on the top of the locomotive, you'll see we have our smokestack. Looks like some kind of pump, blowdowns, whistle, classification light, nice metal handrail. Then if we look at the tender, we can see the coal load and the water fill hatch. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to check the coupler height. And that, I would say, is just about perfect. And again, this is one of the scaletrains scale type couplers. So once again, we'll take a slow pan down the locomotive. Always make sure your locomotive has all the wheels, including the tender wheels, on the track and railed properly before applying DCC power. Not doing so has proven on many locomotives to fry the DCC board due to a temporary short. So it's always safer to kill the power to the track before you put the locomotive on. So now we're going to go through the operational features of the locomotive and do a speed test and see what the speeds come in at. So enjoy as we go through this segment of the video. So first thing we're going to do is hit the F8 button, which is supposed to start the engine. So power is now on, DCC power is on. And the locomotive doesn't have very many startup sounds. According to the brochure that came with the engine, F8 starts the sequence of the startup, but for the J, apparently it's a fairly quiet process. So next we're going to check out the bell. And then the whistle. Okay. And then the smoke generator is supposed to be F3. The cab light is F6. The headlight is F1. And if you notice, the front number boards with 611 on it lit up when the headlight came on. And then 5 is supposed to activate the classification lights. You have white. First click is off, and then second click is green, and third click is off. So I like green, so we'll run it with green. Okay, so we're on speed step 128 is what we've got the power cab set up for. We're going to go to speed step 1. There went the blow off. And we'll go through the speed trap at speed number 1 to see how slow the locomotive can move. Seems to be running very smoothly. No hesitations. Bunch of smoke. Okay, we're approaching the speed trap, speed step 1 of 128. .8 miles per hour. Once we get through the speedometer, we'll put it in reverse. We should see the backup light on the tender come on. You'll notice I'm going to turn the cab light off, and then the cab light's going to come back on. And then when we put it in reverse, we should see the backup light on the tender come on. So we're putting it in reverse with the direction key. Reverse. Backup light came on. Speed step 1, we're going to back through the trap. Speed step 1 coming through the AccuTrack 2 speedometer. .8 scale miles an hour in reverse coming through the speedometer. Okay, we're going to start off from the station here, and we'll start off slow and then work our way up to maximum speed to see what the locomotive's top speed in miles per hour is. We're going to go to the white classification lights. Dahl. Speed step 2. Speed step 3, 4. Bell going off. Cab light going off. It is a smoker. Speed step 126. 70 scale miles an hour. Okay, now we're going to play the scale trains water fill, which is number 7.